Hello and welcome to another live post-game edition of the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Harrison. We are back again. It has been a long time since I've been able to record WNBA post-game. The WNBA schedule is kind of weird. We've been trying to do a live post-game, but the Aces took a week off, so now we're back on it, but this game is just about to wrap up. It's in overtime now. Right now it's 92-91. I want to get on here a little early to kind of dissect this game. It went into overtime. The Vegas Aces are the number two team in all of WNBA. I did pick this team to ultimately win the championship after they fell short to the same Seattle Storm team last year in the Wubble. I'm hoping that my prediction is correct because this is a fine-tuned team. I like how it's well coached. They got some great superstar players. You know, they got a great point guard. Front court's great. But back to this game. And it's going down to the wire. You know, right now the Aces are leading the three-point battle. They're shooting about 54% of their three-pointers to the Storm's 33%. So they're burying them from deep. Now, Liz Cambage is not really having an impactful game, but Asia Wilson is being, Asia Wilson. She's a scorer. She knows how to get buckets. So, with this tandem, I do believe that this team has what it takes to finally get over the hump. I think they just ran into a Seattle Storm team that was just peaking at the right time in the Wubble. But I do believe that this Vegas Ace team, mark my word, as I speak today in June, I do believe that this team could ultimately win this year's WNBA championship. The assist battle is going to the Seattle Storm. We can just basically look at that and tell why the game is so close. They're getting a lot of people involved versus the Aces. They're at 18-21 in the assist battle. The rebounding edge is going to the Seattle Storm. I look at a lot of different aspects of the game, and right now I can just tell you right now the Aces win just because they're burying them from deep. Now, it was, they kind of came out the gate kind of rusty because, like I said, the Aces had been off for a while. Winning the first quarter, going to the Seattle Storm. Then they kind of, picked it up a little bit in the second quarter. Third quarter, it was kind of neck and neck ball game, nip and tuck. But the Vegas Aces pulled away in the fourth quarter, pretty much tying the game, sending it to overtime. So right now, as we wait, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to wait until the Aces wait till the game completes. Then we're going to get coaches and players to be able to address the media. Once the coach and the player address the media, hopefully I can get some questions in to be able to ask about this game. But finally back. We're excited about that. The WNBA All-Star Game is coming up as well. Plus, USA Basketball for the women's are coming up as well. Really excited about that. We haven't really been doing a whole lot of stuff since, every team that I covered in the NBA has pretty much wrapped up. So I've been kind of taking more of a mental break and also, focusing more on trying to perfect the show so that we can have some really great content to talk about here on the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. But we are back today to be able to cover this game, and hopefully we can get some more games in. Like I said, this WNBA schedule is kind of weird, so just bear with me. If you're following the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast, we're just basically trying to get everything right for the next NBA season. But we are trying to see if we can get on more WNBA teams so we won't have such a lapse in content. I know that I haven't recorded in probably about almost like a week and a half, which is uncharacteristic for me. But we are back, at least for today, and I'm hoping to get a little bit more structure with my scheduling and maybe have some great content coming down the pipe when it comes to WNBA. But once this game does wrap up, we'll be right back. We're going to get Coach Lambier up first and then some select players from the Vegas Aces team. But I thank everyone for supporting the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. We're still here. We're just, taking, a little slight break in between the WNBA and NBA content. I know that we was going really strong with the NBA content, but With the WNBA, like I said, it's just really hit or miss when it comes to their scheduling because their schedules are a little different than the NBA. So, yeah, but we're going to take a quick break. Once we get back, we're going to have Coach Lambier up, some select players, then we'll wrap up the post-game press conference after all that's done. So stay tuned. We'll be back. All right, we're back. We're just still waiting on that game to complete. Um, while we're waiting, we're just going to leave the screen up until the stream is being shared by the Aces Media Relations team. Um, it's a couple more minutes, well, a couple more seconds left. It looks like the Aces are going to get the win. So it looks like it's going final now. So it finished out at 95-92. So congratulations on Aces. Again, this is the finals rematch. So some of the key pieces that they did add that wasn't a part of that team that went to the finals was Chelsea Gray. One of my favorite players on the team. She's one of the coaches on the floor. She sees everything. She's able to get others involved. Once you get her going, she's able to get those other pieces involved. The offense just flows through Chelsea Gray. With Asia Wilson, she just a certified bucket getter. I mean, I like how she plays, love her game. She has a great back to the basket, mid-range post game. Also, whenever you get De'Arica Hamby coming off the bench, she's great. Kelsey Plum, she's another piece that comes off the bench. I mean, this team is like really loaded, and I think had they had these players in the bubble, play like they're playing now, I do believe they could have beat Seattle. Honestly, in my opinion, they did add Jackie Young. She had 12 points today. Aja Wilson had finished with 22. Liz Cambage, really solid night for her. 9 points. Not really her norm. Chelsea Gray, one of my favorite players, like I said, 21 points today, 15 points for Kelsey Plum off the bench. She did real good. Great team win for them. Went down to the wire. Turnovers were low. 12 turnovers. That wasn't too bad. I always want to look at those turnovers, that turnover battle. Especially with Seattle, they had 16, so they had 4 more turnovers. So that was a couple extra possessions. So if you look at the game, they lost by 3. Vegas won by 3. Turnovers 4. Those are extra possessions that you could have easily scored on. So shouts out to the Vegas Aces for getting this done. It's a great moral victory for them to be able to beat a team that they lost in the finals to a year ago. So we're just gonna wait for the stream to be broadcasted. So I'm gonna just mute myself until they are back up. So we'll be back in soon as they get ready to start that. So I'm gonna just go ahead and mute my mic. Do we know that? We don't care.
All right, Coach, the internet appears to be a little spotty. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
All right, we can hear you. Why don't we start with an opening statement on what had to have been a pretty good day for national television?
Yeah, it was a really great game for TV. It wasn't the most well played game, but it was a test of wills between two teams. So it came through on television. I'm sure it came through in the stands. We had a great crowd today, a very enthusiastic crowd. Had a great time. We didn't play very well, but however, we got out a win. We didn't do in Minnesota, so it is. Our team has good heart. And we need a day off tomorrow because we're a pretty tired basketball team at the moment. 2 back-to-back overtimes against 2 good squads. I thought today that Chelsea Gray took over the game. That's why we got her to take over the game and direct the offense and make big shots and big plays. She did just that. I've been waiting for that, and today was her stage moment. And AJ didn't play well. She's tired, and you could tell the lift was not in her legs. I'm going to give her a couple of days off before we go to Los Angeles and play back-to-back games. And by the way, Liz was sick today, so it affected her play.
Doug Feinberg.
Coach, always good to see you.
Yeah.
Is the difference between this year's team and the last, you have a player like Chelsea Gray to make those plays down the stretch? I mean, no offense to your other point guards, but that was pretty special what she did in the last couple seconds there for you guys.
Yeah, well, you got to throw in Liz Cambage and Kelsey Plum, too, that we didn't have last year. But Chelsea Gray, we got her. When I told her, I talked to her in the free agency, I said, you make big shots. And she does. Historically, I told her at that time out to make the last one, I said, what do you want? She told me exactly what she wanted. I diagrammed the play to give her the space to perform, and she canned it. But she also led our team down the fourth quarter. I've been waiting for this moment to come along. I wanted her. I told her that she runs the huddle in the fourth quarter today because it's important for her to show her leadership skills and to get out there and make plays happen.
Thanks, Coach.
Anne-Marie?
Bill, when did you tell her that she was going to lead the fourth quarter? Was it in game or you told her earlier today?
No, I've been talking about it too, talking heads. About I need her to take over the game and to lead a little bit more and look more for herself. But no, it came down to the fourth quarter when I basically said, okay, you direct this thing. You're the one that has to make the plays. And I had Plum on the ball when I'm shooting her for a long time. And I made the change in the fourth quarter. I said, Chelsea, you have the ball. I want you to lead and I want you to make plays.
Thanks, Bill.
Trania?
Hey, Coach. It's Trinia Barbie with Anointed Radio. How are you doing? Good win.
I'm hanging.
You guys were struggling to rebound. Your bigs were, like you said, it's a lot of fatigue in there. But your guards really stepped up. I know you're very proud of them.
Yeah, well, we're it was important to not give them very many second shots. They're a possession team. They want to, they'll outshoot you or they'll out execute you. So you limit their possessions. You can't give them offensive rebounds. I thought that for the most part, we did an adequate job today. We did an outstanding job. But, our guards were very active today. I didn't get Raquina Williams enough minutes, so I'd like to get her, but the game ebbed and flowed in a way that didn't, she made her big shots when she was in there. But I think our guards still got a lot of rebounds, but our bigs had their hands full.
This is true. What was your game plan for Stewie? She seemed like she was on the verge of getting 40 tonight.
Yeah. We were supposed to be in her space, and Erica made a lot of mistakes in the first quarter that gave her some points to get her going. But she's a great player. Former MVP, finals MVP, Annie, all the above. We all-star Olympian. Yeah. You're not going to stop her. You try to limit her effectiveness. And for a large part of the game, she was very effective. But coming down the stretch, she was not.
Absolutely. Thanks, Coach.
Sam?
Hey, Bill, you take 2 or 3 from Seattle, just kind of big picture as you approach the halfway point here. Are you where you want to be, where you thought you'd be at this point in the season in terms of where you're clicking, ahead of schedule? How would you assess where you're at right now at the halfway point?
Yeah, I think we're right about where I thought we would be record-wise, and I thought we'd have a little worse record, actually, and coming together as a cohesive team. We still have a lot of work to do and a long way to go. I've always said from the start of the season, I'll keep saying it right now, we're not going to be who we are till at least the All-Star break. I think that or Olympic break, either or. I think we're still learning about. You saw today, Chelsea Gray for the first time really stood up and took charge. You've seen Kelsey Plum a couple games ago, really go out there and do her thing, and learning Liz and et cetera. And it's just a work in process, and it's always going to be a work in process. But I think come All-Star break, I think we're going to have a good handle on who we are, and then we'll make some minor adjustments going forward.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Jesse.
Hey, Bill, you kind of touched on it with Kelsey there, but what have you liked about her game since she's come back from 3-on-3?
Well, before she left, she was playing great and practicing in the games, and then we took a hiatus. And she had a good game the other night, but the consistency factor is not there yet. I think she's still working her way into understanding her team a little bit better. She's making great progress. She's very smart, and she's working very hard, but it still takes time. And so I thought tonight she played extended minutes. The first half wasn't so hot for her, but the second half, I thought she played a very solid floor game, and her defense is always going to be consistent.
All right, 2 more questions before we come back with Asia and Chelsea. Let's go with Cole.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. You guys won the turnover battle tonight, 16-12. And when you consider how close the score was in overtime, just how important was it that you didn't give away offensive possessions and you kept those chances to score points?
That was one of our talks before the game, to take care of the basketball. It's a possession game when you play Seattle. It cost us in Minnesota to turn the ball over at the wrong times in the third quarter. We've had a little bit of a backslide turnover-wise in the last couple of weeks. It's something we're going to have to really focus on. I think that Chelsea's made some lazy turnovers, and I'm on her case about that one, and she'll clean those up. But I think that's a big part of who we are right now, is trying to take care of the basketball.
Thank you.
And last question for Coach Cassandra.
Hi, Coach. You have 5 Olympians on your team, probably the most of any team on the WNBA. What's going to be your challenge in the next couple of weeks in terms of getting everybody rest so that when the women come back, you can make that championship run?
Well, we're not going to have any rest. We play every other day, damn near, for the next 2-3 weeks. We'll take care of our bodies. The Olympic break is so far away in our minds. It's not even there. Yes, they've announced their Olympians, and yes. But same time, we only focus on the next game at hand. That is Los Angeles, and we don't look at both games. We look at one game. So the Olympic break won't bother us on the front end. On the back end, I really have no clue, because a lot of teams will be practicing for a week to 2 weeks with their players who won't have half our team. That's going to be kind of interesting. But I think on the front end, we're just going to keep plowing ahead as we are right now.
Thanks a lot, Coach. We'll let you go, take a little bit of break, and be back with Asia Wilson and Chelsea Gray. All right, everybody. Chelsea Gray is here. Let's go ahead and get started with Mr. Feinberg.
Hey, Chelsea, nice win. Two-part question. Coach said that he had talked to you about being more assertive and more of a leader and such. Just what did that conversation go like for you?
On time. You know, being indecisive doesn't help this group at all. And I think that's what you saw in Minnesota, leading this group, not just vocally, but showing it on court. He challenged me to be better. Hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, our wireless is a little wacky today, Chelsea, so
Oh, okay.
let's give it one more shot for the people at home.
Me answer again?
Yeah, Doug, could you hear the answer all right?
I heard the end of it and heard the beginning of it. But
yeah, why don't we try one more time? Everything seems clear now.
I was just saying that, you know, he challenged me to be better, not just vocally, but leading by example as well. And you saw the indecisiveness in Minnesota, and that doesn't make us better at all. So he challenged me to be better this next game.
And the second half of the question is, are you guys aware about the Commissioner's Cup? I mean, is that something you talk about? Like, this is a huge game to keep you in the running for it, so to speak. Or is it something that, you know, it's new and whatever happens, happens?
Yeah, I mean, we just try to go game by game. Bill does mention it sometimes. It hasn't been a focal point this entire season. Like, we're just going game by game. We want to win series, you know, and we're 2-1 with the series now with Seattle. And so we glance at it and talk about it, but we never try to focus too much on it.
All right, thanks, Chelsea.
Thanks.
Sam Gordon?
Hey, Chelsea, congratulations on the win. Can you walk us through the final huddle there that preceded your game-winning shot, and then just what was your read, and how comfortable did you feel, you know, in that situation?
Well, Bill just asked me, where do you want the ball? What kind of play do you want to run coming down the stretch? And I just said mid pick and roll. It allows for reads. It allows the spacing on the floor, and I have to be able to, you know, pick out of that. And right before the ball gets inbound, and I'm hearing, like, I listened for things, and I knew they were going to switch. And so that allowed me to, you know, have a little bit of spacing because I know they were going to be attached to Asia. So he drew up a great play for Kelsey Plum to come pick on Stewie. So she's trailing the play a little bit, and they have to switch. And so I just wanted to get to my sweet spot, whether I shot it or not.
Yeah, and then after the game, I mean, it's a crazy, felt like a playoff atmosphere. You're getting MVP chance. What did that moment feel like?
It was great, man. It's great to have the crowd right there. It makes a difference. Like with that home court advantage, like having those fans behind us, it's awesome.
Thank you, Chelsea. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Corey?
Hey, Chelsea, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
How important was it to get this win against such a great team in Seattle? And do you feel the team is where it needs to be in terms of your goals, the timeline to make a push for this year's title?
First off, it was extremely important because we just came off of a loss, and to protect our home court. It was a game of runs, and we just wanted to stay with it, whether we were up 10 or down 10. And then to be able to go up on the series with them, if it comes at the end and we have the lead of 2-1 against them, if our records are tied, like that's extremely important. It come down to that. And so that was something that we were like, okay, that's important after the game. And that's kind of where our mindset has been. And I think it's this time for us to grow and get better. We're not where we want to be when we hit playoffs, but we're making strides to get there.
Nick?
Hey, Chelsea, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
How were you all able to maintain your poise, especially down the stretch when those shots that would normally fall weren't falling for you all? What did you all have to do and kind of just remain composed and still focused on the mission at hand?
We wanted to get good shots on goal, and that's what we got. Got good looks at the basket. I missed one right in the front of the rim. Asia missed one on the left side. Kelsey Plum had a huge layup down the stretch. So we were getting good looks at the basket, and that's all you can ask for. Defensively, we had to stay tight, make sure we get stops. We were able to get a big stop towards the end. I forgot what time was on the clock. And then, obviously, the stop to end the game. But we just had to stay together, get good shots on goal, and make it difficult for them to hit shots defensively.
All right, let's go 2 more. Anne-Marie?
Hey, Chelsea, I'm wondering what the conversation was after the loss in Minnesota before the game in Seattle in terms of finishing down the stretch. Obviously, both overtime games. I'm wondering what the mentality was between the two.
In Minnesota, we made some critical errors that even was in the third quarter. Like their run in the third, we might not have had to win into overtime. And so after the game, he was just like, let's just stay with it. With our schedule, there's another one coming. We don't want, any take some time to embrace and learn from this one, but get ready for Sunday.
And then in terms of turnovers, I know that it bothers you when you have too many turnovers. I know, I see it. And so, to have a game like today, how does that help you kind of look ahead and build all that in the past?
It's not quite in the past, you got to get better every single time. I had 2 tonight, so next game, hopefully 0. So each game got to be important. Each game you got to take care of the ball. When we get shots on goal, we're really hard to guard, and then we're able to set our defense, and people have to play against our half court.
Good. Get some rest. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, Cole, close us out.
Hey, Chelsea, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Yeah, just looking forward to Wednesday, even though I don't think it'll be at Staples Center. How much are you looking forward to going back to LA and playing in the city where you spent the majority of your career?
It'll be cool, we were there for preseason, but there's nothing like having the fans in the crowd. I have love for them. I spent some great years there. We won a championship together with those fans. So it's all love, and I'm excited to go back.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Chelsea. We will switch it out with Asia Wilson.
He's at. Where you at? Where you going to eat? I'm trying to figure out what I'm about to eat.
Asia, where are you going to eat?
I don't know. I'm hungry, though. Jesus Christ. I was burning so many calories today just running. Sorry.
All right. Let's start things off with Rafiq.
Hey, Asia, congratulations on the win today. And that's obviously, do you consider this one of your best wins of the season for your squad? And was Chelsea great, everything you expected when she came through in the clutch?
Yeah, I mean, that's Chelsea Gray for you. Big time shot, big time player. And I'm just glad I was on the good side of that side of it all. And that's who she is through and through. And I'm just so happy for her. The way that she's hooping right now for us is incredible. And it's a good win for us. I don't know if necessarily it's a big win, but it's a really good win for us against a great Seattle team. Got to give credit where it's due. They did everything right. They capitalized on all of our turnovers, but we just kept pushing and grinding it out. So it is a good win for us.
Trinia?
Hey, Asia, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Unlike Friday, you guys were able to string together huge defensive stops and secure the rebound to end the possession. What was going through your head to make sure that the same thing didn't happen on Friday?
Get the basketball. That was the biggest thing, is just getting the basketball. And once we got that, then, the ball is literally in your court. And when a team like a Seattle that doesn't turn the ball over, you got to find possessions within it. So the biggest thing was just gaining that rebound. And that was what was on the board, is gain rebound. And it took all of us. So at that point, I think it was a big turnaround for us once we started capitalizing on the rebounds.
You guys have been, I don't know, on the bad side of the whistle lately. It seemed like in that clutch moment, the game was almost about to slip out of your hands with those calls. But you guys maintained everything, and what did you do to just push through that adversity?
I mean, it is what it is. We can't really blow the whistle ourselves. We're not wearing the stripes. But at the same time, we just got to keep going and just focus on us. I think once we start playing into the ref's hands, it kind of gets out of control. So we can't even focus on that. If it's a bad call, straight up call, okay, cool. We just got to keep playing. And that's how we're slowly starting to learn and understand that.
Jesse?
Hey, Asia, Bill said that in the fourth quarter, one of the timeouts, he asked Chelsea what she wanted. I'm just curious, when you guys were coming out of the timeout, walking out on the floor, was there anything that she was kind of communicating to you guys at that time?
No. I mean, we all knew that the best person to have the ball in their hands is Chelsea Gray at this time. And we all trusted her in that fact. And I think we both knew it was going to be between us. So we kind of heard things on the defensive side and just played basketball. I mean, this is WNBA basketball, and I'm glad we were allowed to show how exciting and how great our game really is. So it was a big deal for her, of course, to make that shot, but at the same time for our fans and for the game. So we were all on board with that decision.
Awesome. Thanks, Asia.
Yep.
Anne-Marie?
Asia, you played with Plum now for 3 seasons. She wasn't in last year, obviously. Can you talk a little bit about her progression, especially in these last 2 games, defensively, what Plum has been able to do?
I mean, KP brings that spark, that fire that we need off of the bench. No matter what, no matter how many minutes she's playing or everywhere her presence on the court is just so effective, because you have to guard her no matter what. And I'm just so happy to see her moving. She's a warrior through and through. Just coming off of that Achilles injury, I can only imagine how it would be for me, and she's taking it head on. So just having her out there is truly special. And we're still trying to get gel and mesh, and she's still trying to find her way through. But I mean, we're going to be behind her 100%.
And then with her and Hamby coming off the bench, the pace even picks up more than anybody else's bench, I think, when they come in. And so, again, for you to get some relief sometimes, how great is it that you never know who it's going to be? It's going to be Chelsea. It's going to be Jackie Young with 27. It might be you, Liz.
Right. I mean, that's the sign of a good team. We always say, try to. Our depth can take us a long way, and it's always good to know that if you are sitting down for a couple minutes, or even on the court, there's no drop off from when our bench players come in. And I don't even like using the word bench players, but when the second unit comes in, so it's huge for us when they turn up that heat. And I'm like, all right, I gotta lace my shoes up a little bit, because it's gonna get up and down. But that's what they're for, and they're really good at it.
Eat dinner. Thank you.
Thanks.
Nick?
Hey, Asia, congratulations on the win. When you spoke earlier in the season, you were saying how in order for you all to be champions, you have to go through this team right here. How big is this win for you all, and for you in this team mentally, in the way you all won today?
I mean, it's big in a sense that it's like later on down the road when it's coming to seeding or playoffs, the series is going to matter. But at the same time, everyone turns up the heat in playoffs. So this Seattle team's not even going to look like that in the playoffs. So, you just take it with a grain of salt. It's good to have this win, but at the same time, I think we need to focus on us more of how we can do better and get better, because there have been times where we had slip-ups and you can't do that against a team like Seattle. So I think we got to use this win to still focus on us and still learn as if the outcome was different.
And the second question for me is, did you get a chance to watch the verses between Bow Wow and Soulja Boy? And if so, who you have winning?
Come on now. Of course I did. All right. I'm a Soulja girl through and through. Like, I love me some Soulja Boy, but Bow Wow really took it over. Like, the hits that he's got is all about it. But it was a great versus. I loved it. That was like right up my alley. It took me back to middle school and high school. So it's just a lot of fun to see them come together. So I don't know. I'm a Soulja girl, but at the same time, Bow Wow really, he brought the heat.
Thanks, Asia.
Yep.
Anne Marie, Soulja Boy, and Bow Wow are hip hop artists of this century. You probably are not aware of them. Your children can probably help you.
There's no reason for you to come for me, Jiggy, unless I send for you.
That was messed up.
Last question. I think Corey.
Hey, Asia, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
So we just had Chelsea, come on, and she kind of talked about her take on the game. But how impactful would she be for this team in terms of your goals? It seems this move with bringing her on board was the missing piece this team needed.
Yeah, I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. She's the link that holds us together. She's our point guard. She's our leader. And I would trust her with the basketball last second shot no matter what. Just her basketball IQ, she's going to hit the right person at the right time. Not saying I'm pretty sure she wants to be perfect and never turn the ball over, but shit happens. Like, it's okay. And that's on us to make sure that we're there and make sure that she's comfortable enough to continue to make those passes, because her decision-making is right on point. And I think that's what we needed coming into the season and seasons later on. And it's a big deal for us.
Thanks a lot, Asia. Go get some grub.
See ya.
The Aces are not practicing tomorrow, and we travel Tuesday. So you will next hear from us on Wednesday, game day in Los Angeles. We'll see everybody then.
All right, that's going to do it for us on the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. We are back. As you heard on the broadcast, we will be back sometime this week. The Aces will be playing the Sparks, I believe, on Wednesday. We're going to try to have live post-game coverage of that game as well. Again, we're slowly rolling out content because we're limited on what we're covering since the NBA teams that I was exclusively covering are no longer in the playoffs. So we're going to try to get as much content that we possibly can. Like I said, the WNBA schedule is a little weird, but we're going to try to get as much content pushed out. Try to get it out on a weekly basis. It just won't be as frequent. But I do appreciate those that have tuned in on to this broadcast. Continue to support the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. We're still trying to, get some growth going. Trying to, get some places with this podcast. So I do appreciate the support that I do receive. Again, if you have not taken advantage of the offer with Manscaped, we are official partners of Manscaped. Make sure you put that code in. I'm going to put it up so that you can go ahead and copy that code. The code is, say it again. It's right there in the description, right there on the screen. You get 20% off plus the free shipping with the promo code. I just got some really great products that I just gave away not too long ago. I use these products myself. Great gifts, stocking stuffers, whatever the case is. Make sure you take care of your Manscaped. Make sure that you go to the website, go ahead and put that promo code in. And as far as the show, we'll see you on the next one.
If you love the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast,